Looks like it's about that time. It's about that time. It's about that time. Yes, it's about that time. It is Monday morning, 421. Wake up, wake up, wake up. We're getting ready to go see what the market has for us. We getting it out the market because we do not have to get it out the mud. No, sir. No, ma'am. No ham. No Sam. Mm-mm. We don't have to get it out the mud. We can get it out the market. Yes, yes, yes. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're ready. OPEX week was last week. We're coming on here ready to see what this week has to offer. Yep, and yep. This needs to scroll, not just sit there like a lump. There we go. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Now it doesn't want to do. So let's just see. Maybe I want to edit this one. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one right there. We'll go with that one. Okay. Good morning, all. Good morning. Good morning, one and all. Good morning, one and all. Letting the people, hey, day, my day, little Phil, Marcia. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning. We're going to hop on here and go on about our way because we don't want to waste any time in the market this morning. Well, the VIX is up already into the 30s, which I was talking yesterday a little bit about believing that the VIX in the 30s is something we should probably plan on getting used to. 30s, we're going to be here. I feel like we're going to be here. Going to be here a minute. Might as well get used to this environment. We might as well get used to it. 31.94 is where the VIX is this morning. We're probably going to be here. So now you need to just be, kind of get used to how do your trades function? How do your stocks function? What do those premiums look like? Because for sellers, we're okay with that. Because sellers, we make more money. We get more money in premiums. But when you're a buyer, that means you got to pay a little more. Got to pay a little more for it. So us sellers can take in a few more in premiums. And we'll take it. We'll take it. The VIX volatility index is up about 31.93 this morning. Can Trump fire Powell? Oh, Lord. Listen, that to me would be, I won't say the nail in the coffin, but that would really be a bad move. We need Powell. This is my opinion, because I'm not a, financial analyst and none of those things that go along with financial analysis and all those good things. I can see what I see, but I'm not a financial analyzer or advisor, none of that stuff. But Powell has repeatedly said that his firing is not permitted by law. That theory could be tested. See, we need Powell. We need somebody who is, what they say, bipartisan, who is not swayed by the sides, who can try to keep us in the middle of the road. If we get somebody who could make us go one way, who could go with the sides, that could be detrimental. Says up here, who could replace Powell whenever it happens? I'm sure this ain't the first time somebody wanted to replace Powell, but Lord, pray. For those of you who, as I say, those of you who know the words of prayer, pray. We need to keep Powell. Powell is so cool under pressure. He needs to stay right there. He's the one force that's keeping us, that kind of, this is again my opinion. U.S. futures sink with Trump's tariffs, Powell bashing in focus. Well, really, just nuh-uh. Anyway, I'm gonna keep going. I just need to keep going because the people, I know everything. Okay, so CNBC, Dow futures is down, S&P futures is down. That's not good grammar. I know it. NASDAQ futures are down. Oil is red. U.S. 10-year bonds are green. Dow futures tumbled 300 points to start the week as investors await any progress on Trump trade deals. Dow futures tumble Pope Francis, the first pontiff from the Americas, dies at 88. Oh, Pope Francis died. Oh, they're going to have the whole thing going. The Catholics going to have their few. They're going to have weeks worth of stuff. Oh, man. Oh, Lord, touch their hearts. China vows retaliation against countries that follow U.S. calls to isolate Beijing. Oh, Lord. Here we go. Here we go. Trump's approval rating on the economy drops to the lowest of his presidential career. Netflix gets price target increases from several Wall Street shops. Oh, Netflix got a price target increase? That means it's going to pop a little bit. Man of the people, world leaders react to the death of Pope Francis. That is too bad. Oh, I mean, we got to die, but it's never a good thing when it starts happening. Never a good thing when it happens. Okay, I was going to the other countries, other stock markets. Got taken aback by the Pope passing away. Oh, man. Europe, the stock 600 is unchanged. DAX, CAC, and FTSE MIB are all red. FTSE is green. No, actually barely. 0.06. It's barely green. It's gone. Europe stocks pair losses following European Central Bank interest rate cut. Asia, we got more green, a little bit of red. Nikkei is red. Asia Pacific markets trade mixed as China keeps benchmark lending rates steady. Crypto is all green over there. It was up, from previous days. Bitcoin is at 87,000. Ethereum 1625. Solana at 138. Dogecoin is 0.16 and XRP is at 211. I be thinking XRP is going to be some big number. They talk about it all the time. I feel like it's going to be something huge. And every time I see it, it's like $2 and some change. U.S. dollar falls to 3-year low as Trump's Powell threats further dent investor confidence. See, we need the one thing that at least the other countries can put faith, and I'll put faith in air quotes, can put faith in the fact that Powell is at least following the same playbook that the other countries, that the same role that the other countries have, that same guy, they have a guy too, that they're all playing out of the same guidebook, the same playbook. They can at least trust that. When we take that guy off the playing board and it just becomes that causes issues in other places. Ah, la, la. Good morning, Janae. Good morning, Iola. Good morning, Tanya. Let's look at our calendar for the day. Keep it pushing. As my daughter would say, keep it pushing. Come on. This morning we have FOMC member Goolsby is going to speak at 8:30. This doesn't want to get bigger. I'm trying to make it bigger so y'all can see. There we go. Goolsby. 10 o'clock, we've got CB leading index and day one of the IMF meetings. I'm sure there is some other thing that is going to show up and somebody's going to talk and somebody's going to say something new. We are definitely in a news-driven place. All right. We're definitely in a news-driven market. So, IMF meetings. Goolsby speaking 10 o'clock, U.S. leading index, 3-month auction, 11:30, 6-month at 11:30. All right. That's what we got going there. Let's flip over and see what Adam has to say this one before I go look at any charts. Before I swing back there. Adam says Thursday was OPEX day. It was. And was. SPX spin it chopping around and did. A 52.87 magnet. As posted after intense chop around the magnet comes a trend leg, and it was down overnight. The trend leg was down. Plan today, 52.21 is the key bull or bear line, and we're basically there now. We're at 52.25. I know y'all can't see that right now, but I can see it on my other screen. We're at 52.24, 52.25, something like that. Right around in that general vicinity. We're right around in the area. 52.21, it did drop right down. Actually went a little below that. We'll come back to that chart in a minute. Must recover in order to see 52.33, 52.58, and 52.76. 51.93, 51.82 are the next supports. Down from here. Plan today. 52.21 is the key bull and bear line, which is where we are now. Must recover to see 52.33, 52.58, 52.76. 51.93 and 51.82 are the supports down from here. The gap between ES and SPX is about 30 points. If you're trading XSP, according to these numbers, 528, 529 call credit spread may be a good place to look at for the top side. 517, 518 put credit spread may be a good place to look at for the bottom side. None of this, of course, is investment advice. I'm just putting out some stuff that I see. And if you see it and you like it, maybe, look at your chart and see about trading it. Last week, our list went 5 for 5, baby. It was a short list, but it was strong and mighty. Short, but strong and mighty. After we had a massive drop 2 weeks ago, everything's had to get into some stability. So here we are back. We had gold, Kraft Heinz, Microsoft, SPY, and VU. All of those trades were profitable last week. If you just entered these trades and let them run the entire time, you would have been profitable. 100% last week, 100p. This week, we've got this list. It's still short. Got seven trades on the list for this week. We got gold and McDonald's on the list for this week. Cisco, DIA, Home Depot, Johnson & Johnson, and Microsoft. In our community yesterday evening, we have a charting call every Sunday at 6 o'clock. And we went over all 7 of these yesterday, found the ones that we think we want to trade for the week. I'll watch to see when is a good entry time. We'll put all that out for our members. This is what you get when you're in the membership. You get trade entries, you get charting calls, you get the coach who's there to help you enter, puts up the entries, the exits, all those good things, and is there to help guide you in the chart. In the trade along the way. That's what we do over here. I thought I turned on a banner that doesn't seem to be bannering. There we go. That's for this week. All right. These are the things for this week. What else do we have inside of our charts? I think I'm going to go there next before I go to, I'm going to go back to the charts before I go to the charting calendar. Oh, I want to go next. I want to go to earnings. That's where I want to go next is earnings. We got earnings for the week. We're starting up some earnings stuff happening this week. Banks are running earlier this week. We've got Capital City, Dynex, Capital, Wash, Guarantee, Comerica, CMA, HBT Financial, and Bank of Hawaii. AG, that's this morning before market opens. AGNC, Berkeley, AZZ, Med, Pays, Metropolitan Commercial, BOK Financial, sorry. Flex Steel is this afternoon. Wintrust, Calix, and Cathay Bank. Those are all this afternoon. Tomorrow, we're going to have, tomorrow morning, Verizon, GE Aerospace, Lockheed Martin, RTX, Danaher, Quest Diagnostic, Elevance Health, Northrop Grumman. These are ones that are probably going to be anticipated. Some of these, Kimberly-Clark, Halliburton. And then tomorrow after close, definitely anticipated is Tesla, Enphase, Intuitive Surgical, SAP, Capital One, Steel Dynamics, East West Bank, Range Resources, Baker Hughes, and Manhattan. Later this week, the ones that are coming up, Wednesday, we have Boeing, Chipotle. I'm not sure how anticipated that is. Next Era Energy is coming. Intel is coming on Thursday. Pepsi's coming Thursday. Who else would be in here that might be? Oh, Alphabet, Google coming on Thursday after market closes. AbbVie's coming on Friday. Yep, some of the mags are going to show up next week. Microsoft, Meta, those are showing up next week. All right. Alphabet's really, Tesla and Alphabet are probably the 2 bigger names from this week. Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman, Boeing. Those are some of the bigger names showing up this week. All right. I did want to go there before I got too deep. For those of you who are, hanging around, want to see what we're doing over here, come on and join me over on LinkedIn. I would so appreciate it. if you come on over to LinkedIn and follow me over there. Let me put the link in the chat. I would love it if you would follow me on LinkedIn. LinkedIn.com/company/educator -2-trader. Oh, only 1-2. There we go. Oh, y'all probably can't see that. That's super small, isn't it? That's a little bitty. If you don't mind, I'd appreciate it. Y'all come on over there. A little different content. I go a little deeper into stuff over on LinkedIn, have more longer articles, more blog posts, a lot more education. Each different platform has different things that appeal to that audience. So my LinkedIn content is definitely a lot more educational. Instagram is more picturey, more kind of that. LinkedIn is more education, and so that's where the content that is over on LinkedIn is going to come with more depth to it. Going to have more things that are there. So come on over there, follow me. I put the link into the comments, and I'd appreciate it if you come over and follow me on LinkedIn. I really would appreciate it. All right, let's go on to the charts. This is SPX 500. SPX 500, we can see here that we are currently at that 52.24. When I told you, Adam said 52.21 is the place, the bull bear line, see who's going where. We did definitely consolidate on Friday. And actually, we've kind of been consolidating in kind of an inside candle for the last week in SPX. So now it's really kind of time to figure out which way are we going? Which way are we going? Let's go look at SPX in itself, not just look at the SPX 500, see where we are. But I was just talking about how we've kind of been, this is the weekly chart. Basically, every candle here is a week's worth of data. And you can see this was week before last, the week of April the 7th. This is the week of the 14th. And you can see last week was basically inside of the previous week. See that we're inside the high. The high didn't go higher. The low didn't go lower. This is what's called an inside week. For those who are stratters, if you're one who looks at the strat, the numbering system for the strat, this week would be called a 1 because it's inside. And generally in a 1 candle, you don't do anything. You wait till it breaks out going to the top or breaks out going to the bottom. We've got a gap above us that is, asking to be filled. You basically wait to see which direction we're going. And SPX is, I guess, still deciding. SPX is deciding where we go. Where do we go from here? Okay, where do we go from here? That was the weekly chart, going back to a daily chart now. And this is what we looked like last week. We had a green day. Well, no, this was Monday. Actually, we had 4 red days last week. That's how we had add those candles. We add those numbers on TradingView by going to the Strat Assistant. It's an indicator. Strat Assistant is the indicator. You probably need to, if you don't understand the strat, good morning, Christina, by the way. I have a video inside of our community that will talk to you about the strat. I am a fan of the strat because it is very visual and you can see what you're working with. And I can bring that video down so we can see it, so you can see it. But the 1s, 2s, and 3s are very clear on, kind of give good indication on trading setups and, what are the candles doing? What should you do on which type of candle, that kind of thing. So anyway, this is what SPX did last week. And again, I told you we're at 52.24. You can't see that on SPX because it doesn't run through the night, but we look at SPX 500 to see that. But let's go see SPY, because SPY gives us some indication on what's happening through the night. We can go see what SPY has been doing. I think we've got a little bit of a gap down. We closed up here at 526 and we're currently at 520. So bit of a gap down, right? We closed over here, 526, and we're currently at 520. Now, SPY may want to come on back and grab its gap. Doesn't mean it won't grab it and go back the other way. Doesn't mean it won't, fill its gap and keep going. The market do what the market wants to do. All right. It will do what it wants to do. But at this point, we're about 22 minutes away from market opening. We got a little bit of a gap down, open, going. Triple Q, we can look at that. Probably going to look the same and does, right? We closed on Friday at 444-ish, and now we're at 437. So we're down about $7 in Triple Q this morning. Let's go look at IWM. IWM looks similar to SPY and Triple Q. We closed up here at 186 and now we're at 184. IWM doesn't move as hard as SPY and Triple Q, but it still does its good little work. Small caps, it still does its good work. We can take a look at some of the, I think I left off a letter. I know Janae is here and loves it when we talk about the mover of the market, which looks like the other ones. You look like that we are below that $100 mark. So those who are long-term fans of the NVDA, we closed at 101. Now we're at 98. Might be a place for those who are capturing equity, long-term rides. This is the place where you potentially, this is the place where you pick up, maybe you dollar cost average your way into some of these things. You buy a little bit, buy a little bit, buy a little bit, bring your average cost down. Of course, if you got a few dollars, you buy 100 shares down here at $98. You spend $9,800 and cover call it all the way back up. You know, I'm an option seller, so I'm all about, you know, buy 100 shares, $9,800, spend a little less than $10,000, and then you do cover calls as it rises back up. Ride it and let your shares pay you as they recover, because the thought is that Nvidia will recover. You can do that with any of them, not just Nvidia. You can do that with any of them, of course. But I'm just saying, if you have strong belief in a company's recovery or a company's growth, then, you know, put your money on the wood. Like I do that with SoFi. I'm a fan of SoFi. I believe in SoFi's long-term growth. So I dollar cost average it. I own shares. I do covered calls with it. I do cash secure puts with it. I don't really trade the options on SoFi because the premiums aren't great. But if you just want to buy leaps, you can buy leaps on it because it does have a good price for leaps premiums because it's not too expensive. It's all kind of stuff you can do. There's so many ways. I need to pull that post out. So many ways to make money off one stock. You can take one stock and make money off it like 8 to 10 different ways. If you like a stock, use it like a good employee. Use it all the ways. The Candlestick Mastery Calendar. This month we're talking about the doji candle. Basically where the buyers and sellers are agreeing on the price or wrestling over the price. The calendar basically tells you, helps you identify them, but then it also tells you how do you trade it. Of course, I'm not sharing with you all the information in my post right here because then you wouldn't need to buy the calendar. The calendar, yes, you can find it over in my Etsy shop at bit.ly/MEL Those of you who are looking at charting, looking at how do we chart, how do I read charts, how do I understand what's being said in these charts, you might want to, you know, avail yourselves to the resource of Chart Your Way to 100K. It's a full charting resource. Starts you at the beginning as what is a candle and takes you all the way up through indicators and trading strategies. If you're a buyer, it gives you what to do. If you're a seller, it tells you what to do. If you're different strategies, all that stuff is in there. But I take you on the ride from beginner all the way to how to do your charting technical analysis. I walk you through all the steps, including indicators, how do we use them, different candle patterns, candlestick, all the good stuff. It's a whole full scale training. And you can find it over at educator2trader.com. That's where all my stuff is, basically. Educator2trader.com is where all the goodies are, all the seller goodies. Actually, Charting Your Way to 100K is a resource for charting technical analysis, something you should do no matter if you're a seller or a buyer. If you're trading in this here stock market with equity, if you're buying stock, selling stock, you're doing options, you're doing futures, you're doing crypto, you're doing Bitcoin, you do whatever you're doing, you need to know how to chart. No matter what you're trading, this information is something you need. You need to know how to chart no matter what. You're doing Forex, you need to know how to chart. All right. You need to know how to read charts no matter what you're trading. And you need to go ahead and grab Chart Your Way to 100K. I already mentioned asking you all to join me over on LinkedIn. And I appreciate those of you who are answering the call. All right. These are the strategies that I teach, I coach as option seller coach. Credit spreads weekly, credit spreads on daily SPX. That's where we make the bulk of our money. And we take the money from these credit spreads and we go over into cash secure puts and covered calls and we buy equity. We take the money from options trading and we go buy shares with it. Okay. This is not just, we're not making money just to make money. We're making money to buy assets. You must acquire assets. You must acquire long-term assets. If you were to die tomorrow, you can't pass off your options, your leaps and stuff. That you can't pass that off necessarily. But if you die tomorrow, you can pass off some shares to the next generation. That's how a lot of generational wealth is passed down for those of us who are those people who are passing generational wealth. They pass it through shares, through ownership of companies, through assets, which is shares. All right. You have to acquire shares along the way, not just make the money in options, but you got to buy some stuff. And those are where we use our options money to buy stuff. Cash secure puts, we use that strategy to acquire shares at a little bit lower price. And then we use covered calls to make money off the assets that we purchased. It's a nice little process. It all works together. It works together. Yes. Okay. SPX playbook strategy that we use every afternoon. $27 is the playbook. All the trainings I mentioned to you already are over in my, I call it my arsenal, my tool bag, my toolkit, all those good things. Everything from the beginning, options 411, cash secure puts, covered calls, credit spreads, SPX trading, creating a trading plan, which you can't see that because my face is blocking it. And the basics of short selling. If you just want to short sell shares. Ooh, say that 1,000 times or say that 3 times. Short sell shares. Short sell shares. E2T freebies, that's running along the bottom in the ticker. If you want to look at the freebies, there you are with that. All right, let's go to the trader's declaration so we can wind this up to make sure that you're ready to trade when the market opens. You can look at your own charts Monday mornings. I would encourage you as a seller to not rush in at 9:30. All of the orders from everybody who's been studying since Thursday night, who maybe lost money on Thursday, studied all day Friday, did all their stuff over the weekend and got their orders all set to run into the market this morning. All those orders are going to hit the market this morning at 9:30. As soon as the options market opens, you don't want to have yourself in the middle of all that volatility. I do think you should watch, see how price action does its thing. What's happening here? That don't mean you got to jump yourself out there with your monies. No, watch. Wait till things settle down. Decide which direction we going. All right, then you ride the wave after you decide what direction you're going. Let's see what SPX 500 looking like while we're here. Looks like we're at 52.20. All right, E2T Trader's Declaration. I declare I'm a great trader, a successful trader, and a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses. My account's growing steadily. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I have a strategy that I use for my trades. I don't randomly place trades. I'm a level-headed trader who trades my plan and not my emotions. You need to have a plan. If you're trading without a plan, you're asking for trouble. You must have a plan. If you don't know how to put yourself a plan together, then you need to holler at your girl so I can help you. Okay? Holler at me so I can help you put a plan together, because you need to have a trading plan so that you know what you're trading with. Our prayer: Lord, it's you who gives us the power to get wealth. Help us today to trade our strategy with wisdom and knowledge. Allow us to prosper enough to have what we need and enough to bless others. In Jesus' name, amen, amen, amen. All righty. So we're about 13 minutes away from market opening, right? If you're in my community, When we're going to be doing our live trading, I'll come on to that call about 10:15, 10:20. We'll go live trading together around that time. Again, I want you to be safe in this market. We're going to do three things. We're going to stay green. We're going to get this money, and we're going to have a great green day. All righty.